Odell Beckham Jr., who has not been faring well with the Browns at all. I believe his dad even posted something online where Baker Mayfield is just not looking his way. The dude's open. We can all see it. And Baker's just not looking his way. So what's going down in Cleveland? What's up with Odell? G, you're a Giants fan, man. So I'm sure you got an Odell jersey somewhere in that closet. What are
I
your thoughts on
do.
this
I
on
actually
this
do. I
Odell
still
Beckham?
do. I literally still doing this, collecting dust as we speak. I threw it in my living room closet. I
Yeah.
can't have it in my room.
He-
It hurt. That day he got traded, it hurt my soul a little bit, just a little bit.
yeah, he's
But
collecting
not
dust too.
literally.
Ah,
But all jokes aside, no. I mean, we heard reports last year about him trying to leave the Browns. Like you heard reports of him talking to every quarterback that he played against, trying to like advocate himself, like yo, get me out of here, get me out of here. You heard reports about this since he had been traded to the Browns. I guess we thought that Landry and him would have been a great duo together since they played in LSU, and we thought that would have been a great duo together again, going from college to the pros. But that was not the case. Clearly, he is not. He's getting no love from his quarterback. Probably in the dance room where they dance with each other because they both love to dance when they're on the field. But besides that, it's no love for Mr. Odell Beckham, man. I wish we still kept him. Clearly, the Giants need a receiver. I'm surprised we didn't try to trade him back. Pull the whole
where,
Saints and
where
Ingram situation. Like,
where do you
hey, I'm
think
gonna need
OBJ
that
is
back.
gonna end up?
Shit.
Unemployed.
Ooh,
He's not
spicy.
wrong though. He's gonna have to redo his contract, and he's gonna take a pay cut. If he takes that pay cut, he either ends up with Green Bay or he goes down to Tampa if they need a receiver. If that.
So Scruff, let me get this straight, man. You're alluding to the fact that Odell Beckham might not be playing football at all in 2022.
Well, he hasn't played much football in 2020 or 2021 or the last few years. So let me crinkling up stuff when I'm trying to talk shit.
Are we sticking a fork in Odell Beckham Jr. right now?
Not really, but he's getting close to getting pulling. You're really on your last leg. If you were gonna use that
Literally.
metaphor of cooking, I think there's a moment if you know how to cook. If you've ever cooked before, there's a moment where it's pretty much done. You want to get a little bit extra crisp on it, but if you leave it in just a little too long, then you end up with unedible food. And I think that's where Odell Beckham's at personally. I don't know, man. I really wonder. I know the situation isn't ideal. Let me start with that. He hasn't really seemed like he's been able to fit in since he's been there. I mean, but if I look at his stats, really Odell's best seasons were his first 3 seasons in the NFL with the Giants. He was prolific. I mean, we're talking about 1,200, 1,300 receiving yard seasons. Double-digit touchdowns in multiple seasons. Then he had that injury season in Giants, and then they shipped him, right? And then he had a pretty decent season, and then he's had some really rough years for, I'd say, the last 2-3 years. So, I mean, at first I thought maybe there was some merit to this. Baker Mayfield's not looking for him or whatever. And I did get a chance to catch that video, and he did. It is strange, and not saying that I don't think he's intentionally not trying to get him the ball. I just think Baker Mayfield's a pretty good quarterback. I don't think he's really like a extraordinary quarterback. I think he's pretty good. And I think it's he's lucky to get the ball to receivers at the rate that he gets them to. But from what I've seen, Odell's been getting plenty of targets. I'm seeing him get plenty of targets. If I look at the stats, I see games where he had 7 targets and he only had 2 catches. And then I watched a couple games myself, and I'm seeing him when they throw the ball, he just like flopping and he's like alligator arming, he's looking like, what happened to this Odell? Where's that guy at? Because Odell, you go out there one hand, snatch that thing up there, you know what I'm saying? Crazy athleticism. The old Odell I know, he would take a slant, the same slant he's still running the same routes. The difference, he's not running the routes the same because he's not the same guy. He's running 8 yards. He's run a slant and take it to the house for the Giants. That's the difference, bro. He doesn't have that explosiveness that he had back then. I don't know if he's the same player anymore. I certainly don't think the systems fit. It doesn't seem like he ever really felt at home there. It's unfortunate that he didn't get a trade. I'm not sure if he's just playing uninspired, but I don't see him going hard like that. I'm just like, I'm not seeing it. Like, I'm seeing a little bit of a lackluster effort from Odell Beckham. So I don't know. I think he has to be in a different situation next year. And I think that if the next situation he goes to is going to have to be the ideal situation, I don't think he's your number one guy anymore. Most places you go to, I don't think he's going to be looked at as number one guy. So it's going to have to be the perfect situation. And if he doesn't do anything in the next place he goes to, then I think he's done.
All right, so no love for OBJ from Scruff. Bryce, is OBJ done, bro? Like,
Nah. OBJ is not done at all. In fact, me and Scruff had this very conversation, and he said the same thing he just said to me. He said Baker Mayfield's a pretty good quarterback. And I told Scruff, I said Baker Mayfield is the best quarterback out of the bottom half of the league quarterbacks. Like, if you take 32 starters and you split them up 16 and 16, Baker Mayfield probably falls around 16 or 17. He's not a top half of the league guy. So when you have a bottom half of the league quarterback, you should expect bottom half of the league results with the receivers. I mean, let's not act like Jarvis Landry's tearing it up either, right? I mean, how many tight ends have they got in Baker Mayfield now? You got David Njoku looking like a bust. And I know what type of potential David Njoku had coming out of college. I mean, they signed Austin Hooper. How's he look? Drafted Harrison Bryant. How's he look? I mean, let's just be honest, bro. The most positive thing about the Browns' skilled position players has been the running backs. That's not ironic. It's not ironic that they had Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt both going off at the same time because they don't have a quarterback that can really get the ball to those receivers' hands in the right positions, the right spots. Now, I'm not saying Baker Mayfield's trash, so don't mistake it with that. But he's just not the guy. When Odell was tearing it up, he had Eli Manning. You can say what you want about Eli Manning, but that's still a Hall of Fame quarterback. That's a guy that knows how to get the ball, or that knew how to get the ball into his playmakers' hands. That's Baker Mayfield's problem. He's not targeting Odell as hard as he should. I think they should. Scruff said Odell getting 7 targets. 7 targets for Odell Beckham. I mean, I just watched the game last night with the Chiefs when Tyreek Hill had about 14 targets. You know what I mean? And
but that's a different offense, though.
It felt like 10 of them were in the first half. It doesn't matter. You still have a certain amount of offensive snaps. Last night, Sunday, when I watched Baker Mayfield, I saw a lot of dinking and dunking into running backs I had never heard of before because Kareem Hunt's out. But guess what? They still dinking and dunking the running backs when he's dropping back.
So let me take that question. Let's take it a little further for you, Bryce. So you say offensive snaps. How many snaps you think that the offense in the NFL runs in a week?
In the
average?
Game?
Yeah, in the game. How many snaps?
All right. I don't have that off the top of my head, but I know that the average quarterback's throwing the ball between 30 to 40 times. How many times is Baker Mayfield throwing the ball usually? That's what we should look at. I mean, if Baker Mayfield dropping back 30 times and you're telling me only 6 are going to Odell Beckham, so I mean, he's what he's 20% of what you're doing. Like, give him 35% of the target and see what he does with that. You know what I mean? Like, if you thrown the ball 30 times, target Odell 10 and watch him go off. I'm pretty sure he could. I mean, like, when his pops I know his pops might have been out of line to some people for posting a video like that if his son is wide open. I get that. That can be a little out of line, right? That can make some divides in the locker room.
That's mad out of pocket.
But at the end of the day, that video wouldn't exist if this man wasn't wide open all the time, not getting the football. But you got a situation where you got a quarterback that can't get him the ball, man. And like I said, it's not like Jarvis Landry's going crazy out here. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like Baker's the only. It's not like Odell's the only player on that team with drops, right? And I know a lot of times receivers getting blamed, all the blame for drops. But if it's bad timing on the pass, if the ball's coming to you when it's not supposed to, that increases the rate of drops. And I think Baker Mayfield got to get some of the blame for this. People was looking at him like he was one of the next best things starting from last season. People were loving him, and he just hasn't shown up. And I don't think there's no excuse.
He's hurt though.
Like that.
He still has that.
He does have that shoulder injury.
He has that shoulder injury, so he's gonna be dunking and passing a lot.
He wasn't hurt all season when he wasn't getting him the ball.
Give or take, but even Odell Beckham was hurt because Odell Beckham, he played like 2 games with him because he was coming off that knee injury.